On our first trip to Iceland, we explored the much warmer southern part of the island. On our return visit, 5 years later, we drove north where white Arctic winds hit full blast. We set off from Keflavik and drove toward the snow and the mountains, passing wild spaces with shaggy grasses, classic meandering streams, and treacherous, slushy, turning to ice mountain passes. Even though it was April, we got to see in real life the visual image that nearly everyone has of Iceland: ice, wind, cold, and snow-covered mountains. We drove about 6 hours north, always with the snowy mountains ahead and all around us, intrigued by the magic whiteness. Snow and ice are something we may not be able to see for too many more years as the planet warms up. Horse farms in the distance, with small herds of the shaggy Icelandic horse grazing on the shaggy grasses that look much like their manes. Iceland is a pristine and unspoiled paradise where the people are as sweet as the animals. The inhabitants have an isolated, homogeneous gene pool as well, making it possible to trace diseases back for generations in this island's 1,000 years of civilization. Because of these studies, Iceland has become the leader in the study of the human genome. Because of Iceland's location on the planet, the horses have a unique and isolated gene pool for the last 1,000 years. This time, we got up close and personal with the horses and saw firsthand their famous personalities. Just look at these guys. So friendly, they don't startle because they have never had any natural predators. Let's let our handsome Icelandic horse farmer, Frederick, tell you about these intriguing horses as our party tours the barn. Frederick, in fact, tells us that this breed is one of the closest to the original ancient horse.
See, some of the bodies are different a lot, like this one.
The Icelandic breed has a lot of different types of horses.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't think of them as being different sort of sizes and, not sizes, but different types.
Are they all the same breed?
They are the same breed, yes, but it's just they start off from the beginning. They were only to work with.
Okay.
Only to work.
Yeah, they were.
So a lot heavier.
They were lots more like they were small like her, and strong like the brown one.
Ah.
And we are this breeding where my farm is. The horses are. We want them to be big and strong.
Yes.
Yeah, for Icelandic breed, the horses here is pretty big.
They are, yeah.
Is there a certain type you just breed for meat?
Yeah, we have mares in the where the wild horse, or they're not wild, but they're just mares that we get blood from them.
Yeah.
and then we also get the foals and
What kind of work do they do?
the mares.
Yeah, no, I mean these guys that you breed for work.
Oh, now we're not breeding. It's just 1,000 years ago.
Oh, okay. They pull the plow or the wagon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But now they are more just for fun and a lot for competition.
Ah.
We are trying to get to the start breeding our horses for competition, but it's a very hard competition.
Is it to get them into
Just
a show or?
just the movements and everything.
Ah.
And of course, the mare also has to have. You go under a strong and beautiful stallion, but the mare also has to have a quality.
Ah.
So it's just, and the farms around us are also doing the same, so it's just a hard competition.
Oh.
We're also trying to sell the horses.
Oh, right. You have to be a good horse trader. So, do they do dressage?
Sorry?
Dressage? Dressage.
Yes, but it's very new in Iceland.
Oh. Oh.
But they are starting to do that. And also, for an example, this horse would be very bad in dressage.
Oh.
Because
Why?
It doesn't have any trot.
Any what?
Trot.
Truck.
doesn't?
What does that mean?
Very little.
Okay.
It's the
gate.
It's the main gate.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
all
gate.
the horses have
Ah.
trot, but this is just how Icelanders have bred
The horses.
from way back. They wanted a soft horse that runs tuft,
Okay.
and this horse has a lot of trot.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
I was noticing when
That's-
you're riding, you're very much the sitting trot, aren't you? Whereas we do rise and fall,
Yeah,
and you're like it doesn't look comfortable, is it? Is it?
It's when tuft is very comfortable sitting the tuft,
Yeah.
but when the tuft is not well trained,
It can be.
it,
All right,
it gets
okay.
very stiff
Yeah.
and it hurts your bum.
Yeah, it looks
Oh.
like.
So,
So you actually train them in their gait.
yeah.
But some are natural. Go ahead.
And all the gates train each other. For example, if I would want this grey horse to have a good tuft, I would try to train the trot.
Oh,
But the trot if the trot gets better, the tuft also gets better. So it's
But some are naturally better than others.
yeah.
Like
yeah.
Chris here is a natural
Yeah.
sportsman,
Exactly,
and I'm not. Okay. Well, thanks a lot. On our way through the barn, we are drawn to the sheep pens, stocked with another unique Icelandic breed that has very valuable wool.
What a pose! What a pose for you! Look at that pose!
Okay. Past generations of Icelanders wore only wool because it was the isolated island's only clothing material, and it is also very warm.
Lovely.
Yeah, they only have those ones.
See, ours don't have that.
What breed is this?
Icelandic breed, but my grandfather just wants he finds his sheep very beautiful with big horns.
Oh.
But it can be very hard to when they're
Again, we cannot help petting and cooing over these darling lambs. Lammy. Just look at those curls. Yes, you heard Frederick correctly. Icelanders breed some of their horses, especially the mares, for meat. Although some groups are against this practice, Icelanders have been dining on horse for centuries, so it seems very natural to them. We actually ate it, and it was surprisingly good. Luckily, we were not told what we were eating beforehand. Frederick shows us a horse accidentally injured while being shoed.
She was tied. I was going to shoe her hooves or shoe her, and due to that she was tied, she just lost her balance, and both of her kunne say ledbånd.
Hoofs? Legs?
No, the ligaments.
Oh, ligament.
Something went
Snap. Torn.
both of them. So, and she broke a bone. So it's just if the owner wants to, it depends on what the owner wants.
Oh, I see. She's
It
not
would
yours.
would cost a lot. No, it's not ours.
This is where it's good to have the hospital so near. Oh, bless her.
Next, we go on a tour of the veterinary clinic on Frederick's family horse farm, the only one in the northern part of the island. Because there is no indigenous forest on Iceland, wood is scarce, so sod turf was used as a very effective building material, much as early pioneers used on the U.S. western prairies. And that is a perfect segue to our visit to Glambar, a centuries-old sod house in Priestley Manor, now a museum, which illustrates the way Icelanders lived less than 100 years ago. We enter through the door in the wooden facade. The sod extends on either side and forms the roof with grasses growing from it. It's like a hobbit's cottage. From the outside, it looks a very complex construction, but inside the rooms are arranged in a very straightforward plan. We are taking ourselves on a self-guided tour. The buildings date from the 18th and 19th centuries. Inside the passageway, the utility and storage rooms feel very much like a cave. The house consists of a main passageway with a pounded earth floor from centuries of footsteps. Off the passageway to the right is a guest room which shows the prosperity of the manor with its blue painted wooden walls. To have paint shows that the owners were very well-to-do because, well, paint was very expensive, especially the color blue. This room is a pantry where food was stored that would make present-day Americans a little squeamish, and perhaps a few Icelanders as well. The guts, intestines, organs of animals, and a sort of yogurt called skyr were preserved in the huge barrels and containers.
Rolling pin, cheese, all had farmers that would live there, and those guys lived in a lot bigger houses than just a normal farmer than the next farm. So there was those 18, and then of course if he was dying it would go down to his son.
Other storage areas for tools or fuel can only be reached from the outside. Because Icelanders are so isolated with irregular trade from Europe, they had to rely on indigenous materials and their own skill in creating housing and tools. There are rooms for kitchen and various storage on either side, and the passage ends with the baðstofa, the living areas which to our eye look pretty much like bedrooms. These rooms are constructed of wood. The Icelanders did all their inside work in these rooms, sitting on the bed during the day and sleeping there partially clothed at night. The house was not heated because the sod walls are very thick and the Icelanders wore only wool clothing. Iceland is not a tropical paradise, but a surprising utopia in a cold, although temperate island with a high order of social organization, and it is the world leader in clean energy. As we cross again the White Mountains and the white grassy lands of the north, I remember Leonardo DiCaprio's climate change documentary predicting no ice in the Arctic by 2021. Scenes like this are becoming more rare and precious. Maybe in contemplating and working toward a healthier planet, we should be thinking white as well as green.